The Bible is for me.
Snap, crackle, pop. Wake up call to the world.
It's getting cut, right?
I went up and got that.
No, I
People didn't think. I thought we had Jonathan on. He was a musician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. They thought you were a good musician. That's
what they're thinking.
I heard them.
That's what they're saying.
I heard him say it.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bible is Funny podcast. My name's Anthony, and that is Tim. To my right, your left. I always love that when the radio, I don't know if you ever listen, I'm kind of a sucker for a radio called sports game.
Like a football game.
Yeah, I think it's fun. And they're always like calling from the booth. They're like, Bucks take the field, going from my left to my right. They're trying to like space you on the field. If you were facing the pirate ship, they would be moving that way. Would be moving a little perpendicular to. I don't need to know where they are.
Well, it's so you can visualize it. I think if you like close your eyes while you're driving, you can really picture it happening as you wreck your car into a tree.
You want your eyes closed while you're driving, listening to the game. Because it's like, where are you in the stadium? I don't know where you are in the stadium. And then they'll say something like the east end zone. Like, oh, okay. So now I got to know where.
Well, if you're familiar with the stadium, maybe you're like, oh, my buddy's sitting at the southeast corner. Maybe you're like one of those people on the spectrum that's watching this, like listening,
no
and you're mapping it out.
Yeah, I have no clue. But they give us the information. It's helpful. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching or listening to the podcast now, if you're just listening, I want you to know that I'm on your left. Tim's on your right.
Mm-hmm. Nope. The other way around.
Could be. This is the Bible is Funny podcast. This is our segment we call Cheat Day Devos.
Yeah.
Tim and I diving in. Covering bigger chunks of scripture this year.
Oh, you can't say it like that.
With the big changes.
Not with these chapters.
This, yes, I'm glad you just brought that up.
Let's talk about some big chunks here.
We're going to dive in to some stuff today. I know that a lot of, I don't know that a lot, but I have heard from some people that listen to the Bible is Funny podcast as a family. And I will say, we're getting into some Levitical law stuff today that goes into some... If you've not had certain conversations about certain things, there might be some questions.
Go on.
That come out of this podcast.
I might have some questions for you,
Spoil
man.
Too much. But there's a little bit of content today.
This is the not safe for work chapter of the Bible.
But listen here,
not that honestly, so many are not safe for work, and most of them are not safe for kids. Let's be real.
Well, there's a lot of content in this one, but I do feel like this one is. Hey, there's some.
We're gonna
adult.
This is
conversations.
If it tells you anything,
be had.
These are the chapters I'm most excited about.
That should tell everybody.
So, and most people don't let me have my freedom of conversation around their kids. So maybe this is the time to have your kids go put on their own podcast.
Yeah.
Or they're going to get an education here about what the Bible says about certain things, what you do with certain things.
Okay, and that's what we're saying. What we're going to say is in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
Is what the Bible says. This is that we're not bringing in. This reminds me of my story that I want to tell in conjunction with this.
I might bring in my own.
Well, please don't. Yes, it's going to be.
What if it's relevant?
I'm just saying this is all in the Bible. As a family, this is in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had friends. I think this is a mutual friend. That's why I stuttered the way I did. But like he was like, yeah, it was kind of funny because my kid was like, I want to read the Bible, and I was like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And they were like, pretty quickly, they were onto some stuff that I was like, oh man, that's some stuff. Especially because it's earlier in the Bible, right? We're in Leviticus. This is like book 3. We're getting into this. So anyway, I'm overhyping it, but I did just wanted to give you a little like heads up. If there's little ears in the car that you're like, it'd be better to maybe skip this one. I get it. I get saying like, hey, my kids shouldn't be in this part of Leviticus. I'll tell you that. If maybe that's helpful, I don't know that I want my 10-year-old exploring this particular part of Leviticus.
But if you were a parent who like if your kids were fine with the flooding and the killing of lots of people
Sure.
in Genesis, then sure, maybe this is for them
Maybe
too.
they're in.
Maybe a whole
call.
essentially a genocide of a ton of people. Like, yeah, maybe if your kids were good with that, then have them stick around.
Yeah.
You're fine.
That was their favorite part so far.
Yeah.
No.
Stick around.
Okay. I feel like we've done enough. You get what I'm saying. This is
And
what we're going to discuss today.
They can learn how to clean up their messes.
We are committed to going through the Bible, covering the sections. What I mentioned.
Sections.
Okay. Now you're reaching. Needs to be said, Tim and I are not. What's the word I'm looking for?
Smart. Good. Wise.
We're not any of those things when it comes to the Bible. So nothing we say today should be taken seriously, really, at all. No sermons should be based on this. No lives should be changed based on what we're about to say. Like we always say, unless you're into changing your life around crazy stuff, and then by all means.
Yeah, join our conspiracy theory podcast next.
Without further ado, Leviticus 15 through 22 is what we're covering today. Tim, can you give us a little lead into Leviticus chapter 15?
Leviticus 15, bodily discharges. Told you. We told you.
Like, we're here. If you thought maybe you could get away with a little bit of time,
No.
like, we're already here.
The
arrived.
clock starts.
Yeah.
It already started.
Just right from the jump.
So we got to know what to do with our bodily discharges. Am I right? It's not something Dad's telling you. So you got to go find it in the Bible. I just love that we just come out of the gate swinging. So I'll give you the little intro. God spoke to Moses and Aaron, and again, I have been reading from the Message version of the Bible, because I'm like a child who doesn't read too good. But and also in how I laugh at giggly things. So yeah, I'm going to be rereading from the Message. I think it says things a little bit differently, but I enjoy it. God spoke to Moses and Aaron. Speak to the people of Israel. Tell them, when a man has a discharge from his genitals, the discharge is unclean. Whether it comes from a seepage or an obstruction, he is unclean. He is unclean all the days his body has a seepage or an obstruction. So there you go.
And as I said, we're off.
Hell yeah, we
if
are.
you're not caught up a little bit, these are like just a series of rules and guidelines on a variety of subjects that have led up to this moment. And that's the discussion for this particular chapter. I guess it had to be said. I guess this was an issue that had to be addressed.
Right. Again, this is like some of the previous chapters we've talked about. Some of these laws that were created and told about when a man, if a cow kills another cow, but it wasn't the owner's fault, obviously that was set in place because it had happened before.
Right. Sure.
So obviously somebody's had some seepage somewhere.
There's been...
And it could have been an obstruction.
Someone's had seepage somewhere.
And what do we do? And the guy's like, no, I'm cool. It's just an obstruction. And you're like, no, bro. God said you're unclean. And I don't care if it's an obstruction or a seepage.
In this
you're gross.
particular case, I think the question was more about the duration of time. Like, we were all on the same page that this is an unclean situation. But just tell us how long this person's unclean for, because when do we sort of cut it off?
The answer is all the days his body has a seepage or an obstruction.
And I hate even using cut it off in this particular context. Verse 7 is something that jumped out to me. Whoever and I read from the NIV. I do think that matters because some of the words are interchangeable here, and so it's where I'm coming from on this. Whoever touches the man who has a discharge must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. It's a bit of a cooties situation. Verse 8, if the man with the discharge spits on anyone who is clean, they must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. I mean, I don't know how often people were spitting on each other. I don't know if this is like the example of sort of like just talking and sort of spitting. I don't know how all that factors in.
If it's an accidental spit, if it was unintentional, like some of the other things, the atonement stuff you had to do.
Or if this was like a little bit of maybe the potential for a prank to be like, I'm unclean. Now you are too. That'd be a gross prank. Anyway, these people are unclean. And here's the last couple of chapters prior to this too, we talked about some ways that people get unclean. Made me wonder, you have to say you're unclean. There's identifiers that you're unclean. I wonder how much. There's a variety of reasons someone could be unclean. So I'm wondering if you're the person with the seepage, or if you're the person who just accidentally touched the person with the seepage. If there's any sort of like, we're both unclean, and you're like, but I'm not
by proxy.
As you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like some degree, like I just don't want to be. It's like you'd be like the people in this group have either accidentally touched someone, or they have a defiling skin disease, or an unstoppable seepage that's disgusting, and you want to be like, I'm the one who accidentally touched someone. I do feel like that's a different category.
It's a level of unclean that I think we can all be kind of okay with. I might kind of be unclean. The jury's out. I'm in the waiting period.
I would like to advocate for those people to say there should be a differentiation.
The Message version says in like 4-7 says, every bed on which he lies is ritually unclean. Everything on which he sits is unclean. If someone touches his bed or sits on anything he's sat on, or touches the man, he has to wash his clothes, and yada yada. And I think that would be like one. You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
If you've got some seepages and you sit on my bed,
it's good practice.
It's unclean too.
It's good practice.
Yeah, you didn't have to spell it out in the Bible. But I just remember, I feel like college would have been a great time to like, it felt like pranks in college. Like if you're gross and you just go sit on your friends' beds and stuff and like, unclean. Sick. Just sick.
Yeah, you like walk into a house and I don't know. I guess you're allowed to go. Anyway, you just are like, oh man, my legs are really tired. Don't, Bill. Don't. I don't know. I gotta take a load off.
Moving on, it says every saddle on which the man with the discharge rides is unclean. Whoever touches anything that has been under him becomes unclean until evening. Anyone who carries such an object must wash his clothes and bathe with water. He remains unclean until evening. Yeah, like I'm not going to carry some discharge soaked saddle then. Like I'll just why would I even volunteer to do that? If it wasn't my saddle that I got my seepage discharge on, just fun to say.
Yeah,
then I'm not carrying it. All of a sudden I'm dirty until midnight.
That's going to be one of those for hire jobs that's very expensive. And then you go like, yeah, I kind of know why though. You have to like contract some jobs out and you're like, it's not that difficult of a job. Yeah, but you know why it's $100 an hour.
But I'm not volunteering for that. Like, my wife finds me gross enough as it is.
Yeah.
And I don't need her to have a reason to be like, oh, but God said you're unclean.
Because
you helped.
Yeah.
With Frank's saddle.
Yeah. Frank seepage saddle.
What do you think?
Seepage saddle.
What do you think it is about sundown that all of a sudden everything's clean again?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a good like take the day, take the day. Some of these are like the proxy ones go by sundown metrics, and they're like, it was what happened to you was gross today, and let's just call it by sundown. You'll be back joined into the people that haven't done gross things. Set.
Yeah, and for everybody else, it's as long as you keep seeping from wherever you're seeping from.
We got to figure out. Stop the seepage.
Sundown is not going to cure you.
Sun up, sundown. It's the seepage we're concerned with.
Verse 13 through 15. When a person with a discharge is cleansed from it, he is to count off 7 days for its cleansing, wash his clothes, and bathe in running water.
Yeah.
Then he is clean. On the 8th day, he is to take 2 doves or 2 pigeons and come before God at the entrance of the tent of meeting and give them to the priest. The priest then offers one as the absolution offering and one as a whole burnt offering and makes atonement for him in the presence of God because of his discharge.
Yeah.
And like, what a crap way for these birds to die. Like you're in
not the way you
you're
wanna
in
go.
bird heaven, and like
Yeah.
like birds are flying around in bird heaven and
Bird paradise.
Like yeah, some bird is like, yeah, I got sacrificed because my owner murdered another dude, and then he like ripped my wings off, and then like, okay, oh cool. What about you? Oh, well, yeah, I was a blood sacrifice because my guy stole some gold.
Right.
And, oh yeah. What about you? But you, Murray, nothing. No. I had nothing. It wasn't anything. Definitely wasn't like a discharge or something gross. I had a noble cause for my sacrifice.
Right.
No, definitely not. Definitely not because of dude.
I feel like the bird that got hit by Randy Johnson's pitch gets into heaven is like, that'd be the worst reason to die. And then this bird in the back takes a long drag of a cigarette. No, it ain't, brother. No, it ain't.
That bird that got hit by Randy Johnson, he's a legend in bird heaven, of course.
They're birds of paradise now. I don't want to keep talking about this.
We have to. It's what the people need. It's their cheat day devos. Otherwise, they're gonna have to read the whole thing themselves.
Yeah, verse 17.
Message. Go on. Sure, I'll go. When a man has, this is 16 through 18. When a man has an emission of semen, you didn't want to say that out loud.
They went right to it. I thought we were going to keep doing seepage in the message, but they got right to it.
I think semen is different from seepage. Because one's... like one's a little bit more...
I can't stress enough how little we know about anything.
One's a little bit more normal.
Yeah.
And can happen to clean people every day. The other one, the seepage you don't want around.
Okay.
You definitely don't. I mean, I'm not really into touching any of it.
I gotcha.
But like, there's a difference. One can get you sick. One's just sticky. Start over because I want to say it again. I hope your mom's listening to this episode.
She loves the pod.
When a man has an emission of semen, he must bathe his entire body in water. He remains unclean until evening.
Yeah.
Every piece of clothing and everything made of leather which gets semen on it must be washed with water. It remains unclean until evening.
Yeah.
When a man sleeps with a woman and has an emission of semen, which it's going to happen, both are to wash in water. They remain unclean until evening.
Yeah.
I mean, in addition to water, I just want to use some soap too. Just...
Sure.
That helps.
Sure.
But yeah, water, just hose it off.
I sort of like, and I think I might implement the sundown metric. I think we should use this more. I don't know if you, again, I'm going to broaden out for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't love this subject. We'll be right back. Uh-huh. But you get people that will show up to like your workplace and they're like, yeah, I've been really sick, but I took a Tylenol this morning and now I don't have a fever. So anyway, I'm back at work. Yeah. You're like, why don't we call it sundown? Why don't we call it, even if you feel, why don't we call it sundown? Yeah. What's wrong with calling it sundown and then be fit as a fiddle tomorrow? And I think maybe the same for stuff that gets dirty in unique ways that we're just like, don't just wash it and use it right away. Like that feels like,
right.
Man, why don't we just give it time?
Hang it out to dry.
Don't ask me for science. I don't know. Just give it a minute.
It gives me time to forget what was on there. That's all.
The 3-second rule in reverse. Mm-hmm. Like it needs time. It needs time to recover from what it went through, and then we'll use it again. Because the leather didn't ask. I can guarantee you, the leather didn't ask, and it just had this happen to it. It
is kind of fun that like it's named that it's leather. Like we're getting on leather. Like what's the leather involved for?
That's part of the saddle potentially, or like some kind of...
Yeah, but they're saying that when a man sleeps with a woman and then there's like leather involved. Just saying. I don't know what they're into back then.
The notion there is definitely intriguing as well. There's one later.
That could be God ordained S&M kind of stuff. I'm just saying. I'm reading the Bible.
It just got stuff on it. I think that's a big jump. When you have to denote when you have relations and that is omitted, I think that should come with some kind of asterisk in some translation that's like, hey, if you do this and something doesn't omit, you actually have another set of problems.
That's the obstruction they were talking about
Now we
before.
have a different set of issues. I don't. I'm okay on 15. Is there more that needs to be discussed?
No, let's keep going.
Okay. Leviticus 16. Sorry, Mom. Intro us, Tim.
Oh, I did 16. I'm on to 19. That was 16.
Wait. You're on verse 16. I was saying I'm good
the
with
whole
chapter 15.
Good. No,
You've got
there's
more?
so much more here.
Great. Go on.
Verse 24, if a man has sexual relations with her and her monthly flow touches him, he will be unclean for 7 days. Any bed he lies on will be unclean. And I think I would just, if I was in that scenario with my wife, I would go to everybody's house just to kind of show off and be like, hey, guess what I just did? And I would lay on every bed and every couch and then just to piss them off.
There's a degree of honesty that comes in, right? Like that wouldn't be immediately knowable by everybody.
Yeah.
Except for you and the way you always strut around after.
I have a little glow about me, whatever.
Ron Swanson red shirt.
The verse 31, you are responsible for keeping the people of Israel separate from that which makes them ritually unclean, lest they die in their unclean condition by defiling my dwelling, which is among them. I feel like this is a little extreme. I know I get the law back in the day meant something, but I just can't. I can't imagine that someone should die for these kinds of things. But I'm not God. I'm not striking somebody with fire.
Some of that I wonder. I genuinely wonder, and a better podcast would know. We say that a lot, and we mean it. It's like the way that that's presented. Like you read that part again, where he talks about. Why they need to stay clean. You are responsible for keeping the people of Israel separate from that which makes them ritually unclean, lest they die in their unclean condition by defiling my dwelling, which is among them. Right. And some of it I wonder, and I guess that's where the question would come in, is like by defiling my dwelling. But then some of it is like, you don't have, as ancient as these texts are, like you don't have microbiology being studied. So there's a degree of cleanliness that is like a life-saving thing. Certainly not a woman's monthly flow would not be something that would lead to the death of everyone if it got around. But some of these things you're like, hey, that's you got to separate that person out. You have to think there's a group of people that doesn't know that. That is no longer a group of people. Because it went all around. For sure. I mean, same concept of like washing your hands. Like, why would they feel like they had to wash their hands? Yeah. Like, it seems normal for us. Right. Obviously, if you have like poop on your hands, you're going to wash it off because it's going to smell. Yeah. But like, they just have, my hands look clean. What are you talking about? Right. Like, they're fine. Dead. Everybody dead. And then it buttons up with, just because I want to say these words again, these 32 and 33, these are the procedures to follow for a man with a discharge or an emission of semen that makes him unclean, and for a woman in her menstrual period. Any man or woman with a discharge, and also for a man who sleeps with a woman who is unclean. Yeah. And I just think Moses really buttoned that thing up there, if in fact Moses wrote this. Just thanks. But I appreciate that last sentence, just to let us all say that one more time. Yeah, you love having the you're flipping through and trying to find the protocol for different things. You're like, oh, okay, this is covered in this section. If you couldn't remember what you were just giggling about, this is what it was. Leviticus 16, the Day of Atonement. After the death of Aaron's two sons, they died when they came before God with strange fire. If you don't remember, God spoke to Moses, tell your brother Aaron not to enter into the Holy of Holies, barging inside the curtain that's before the atonement cover on the chest whenever he feels like it, lest he die, because I am present in the cloud over the atonement cover. God, he needs some alone time. Don't just barge in, God says. Yeah. Anyway, Aaron will, which is, I think that's it. Like, don't barge in on God when God's busy. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Like, it's a built-in. And again, I use the threats. Aaron doesn't die, so maybe he just does it right the whole time. Well, he does die eventually. But I also kind of like this built-in. Like, you don't get to just like, hey guys, I know God, so I'll go do what I do and tell the big guy what he's gonna do. It's like, no. You gotta at least knock. You gotta have to, there's a process here, Aaron. You're not running the show, just in case, just so you remember, it's not on your time. You don't get to just tell everybody, I have this this guy in my back pocket that I go to.
This guy. You're right. Verse 6 through 10. This is kind of fun to explore. Aaron will offer the bull for his own absolution offering in order to make atonement for himself and his household. Yeah. Then he will set the 2 goats before God at the entrance to the tent of meeting and cast lots over the 2 goats, one lot for God and the other god for Azazel. He will offer the goat on which the lot to God falls as an absolution offering. The goat on which the lot falls for Azazel, falls, will be sent out into the wilderness to Azazel to make atonement.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah. So do you know Azazel? Do you know what this thing is or who this is?
Oh, is it a person or a thing?
Exactly.
Oh.
We don't know.
Nobody knows?
Well, there's like speculation as to what Azazel is. And interpretations vary, with Azazel seen as a demon, a desolate place, or even just the scapegoat itself. Though most scholars lean towards a malevolent supernatural being inhabiting the wilderness.
What the what?
Mm-hmm. This ritual, performed by the high priest, symbolically banishes sins to Azazel's domain, representing the complete expulsion of guilt from the community.
Oh my word.
Yeah. This is some good stuff.
I love that. I love a little touch of mystery in there.
Who or what is Azazel?
Yeah. We'll never be able to tell. I love the scapegoat tradition. I was very into this. Right. I went in on this. I got the giggles. 21, he's to lay both hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the way. So this was like to follow up to what Tim said. There was 2 goats that were part of this. One was killed. One was sent into the wilderness, to the land of the Azazel. Trying to think of a pun of gazelle, and I don't have the time right now. He's to lay both hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the wickedness and rebellion of the Israelites, all their sins, and put them on the goat's head. He's to confess over this goat all the wickedness, put it on the goat's head, and then send the goat away into the wilderness, into the care of someone appointed for the task. So I just, in my head, and I'm not sure exactly that's how it would have played out, but this poor goat has just got to hear everything that's been going on in the camp. And all these people that used to walk by and scratch his chin. Like, oh, actually, that guy's so nice. Oh my gosh.
He's sick.
He did what? And it got on the leather? And this goat, who's just made friends and built relationships inside of this community, not only is it going to be cast out, but right on the way out, it's like, I'm going to tell you all the terrible things everybody did. Yeah. Right before you go.
Right. And then he's going to suffer like with all that information just by himself. He's got no goat friends to be like, dude, you won't believe what I just heard. Yeah. I not that the goat necessarily understood what they were saying verbatim, but I probably had to get the gist of it.
It has a sense.
Yeah.
I also just feel like, it's like, and then you have someone take it out into the wilderness. In my head, the goat's like, I'll see myself out. You people disgust me.
I'm leaving.
I won't live here anymore. I won't be a part of this. Y'all are gross. And I'll take my chances with Azazel.
Deuces. 29 through 31. This was fun for me. This is a standard practice for you, a perpetual ordinance. On the 10th day of the 7th month, both the citizen and the foreigner living with you are to enter into a solemn fast and refrain from all work, because on this day atonement will be made for you to cleanse you in the presence of God. Yeah. You will be made clean of all your sins. It is a Sabbath of all Sabbaths. You must fast. It is a perpetual ordinance. The Sabbath of all Sabbaths. The Saturday of all Saturdays. The vacation of all vacations. The Super Bowl of motorsports.
That's right.
I love it.
Sabbath of all Sabbaths.
The Sabbath of all Sabbaths.
This is all part of the process of the Day of Atonement. You just noted it there. It should be noted. This is where, have you ever heard that term elsewhere in the Bible? This is where it comes from. Day of Atonement. This is the practice. One day a year. This was like an annual thing.
Yeah. On the 10th day of the 7th month. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. You know what this just made me think was, back in these days, when you're like, I'm just trying to think, I wonder how you could maybe incorporate some of this more today. I think one of the things that people get on Christians sometimes. They're like, they're like, something
That's called persecution.
will happen.
We've all been facing it for 40 years. Okay.
Something will
You
happen.
can't bring your Bible in school. Sorry, go ahead.
And you're like, I'm going to pray about it. And like, at the end of the day, it's like, you can kind of do that whenever, wherever, and however. Like, that's like, you just pray in your car, you pray here, you pray there. And I almost wonder, I think if you had to like gather some animals together and you had to prepare goats to hear terrible sin. Like, if there was a little more to it, maybe we could incorporate that. Like that, if I said like, hey man, I'm going to pray for you about that. And that means I gotta do some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if Aaron was like, okay, I'll pray. You're like, oh man, thank you. That's going to take time out of your day.
You got to kill a dove
You
for
have
that.
to find the fat ram tail in order to do that. Thanks for doing that. Nowadays, it's always like, oh, you're going to be sitting in front of your Chick-fil-A meal. That's what you bless this Polynesian sauce and help Timmy's tummy ache. Amen.
If you get that, that's fine. I mean, God's always present in the Chick-fil-A,
Right, I'm
as
saying
we know.
that as well, yeah, for sure.
Leviticus 17. Let's keep moving. Holy living, sacrifices, and blood.
That's a great hook.
I mean,
Great intro.
the bodily emissions and then sacrifices and blood.
Yeah.
God spoke to Moses, speak to Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites. Tell them, this is what God commands. And any and every man who slaughters an ox or lamb or goat inside or outside the camp, instead of bringing it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to offer it to God in front of the dwelling of God, that man is considered guilty of bloodshed. And he has shed blood, which is, I think, what bloodshed means. And he must be cut off from his people. So, like, if you killed it where you weren't supposed to kill it, now you're a murderer. This is so the Israelites will bring to God the sacrifices that they're in the habit of sacrificing out in the open field. So they were like doing this elsewhere, bring it into the tent. Like we want to be the ones to kill. You can't. You're just a layperson. You don't know how to kill the right way. They must bring them to God and the priest at the entrance to the tent of the meeting, sacrifice them as peace offerings to God. The priest will splash the blood on the altar of God in the entrance and burn the fat, blah, blah, blah. They must no longer offer their sacrifices to goat demons, a kind of religious orgy. This is a perpetual decree down through the generations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like a hard label to put on something.
Backsliding in this case is 2 steps. First, you're killing the goat out in the wilderness, and the next you're involved in the goat orgy.
Right?
I mean, we're trying to keep you.
It sounds like when you get a tattoo, like when you got a tattoo early on and your grandma was like, oh my God, there he goes. He's in that's the occult.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a Jesus fish. It's what I got in high school. She's like,
though?
But is it? That's a portal for the devil's hands to come out, strangle
At this point,
children.
the devils are probably like, there's so many portals. I don't even know which one to take to get to where anymore.
But we have easy access.
Because of all these tattoos,
Sorry,
barbed wire tattoos.
I used grandma's voice for the devil there.
That's a little Freudian slip by you. Obviously a keynote for me that jumped out there, and I hate to bounce around translations, but I just like the KJV, verse 7 of Leviticus 17, and they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils after whom they have gone a whoring. Froggy went a whoring and he did right on. Froggy went a whoring and he did right on. Doesn't make me think of. That's where you're one step away. First thing, you're killing your goats on the outside of town. The next thing, you've gone a whoring. Verse 15, anyone, whether native born or foreigner, who eats anything found dead or torn by wild animals. Oh, this is into the blood. Did you have anything before I
bring it.
Get into some blood stuff?
Bring the blood.
Talking about blood, it was quite a note here. about like not eating the blood of anything because the life is in the blood, and that's reiterated many times. I think maybe once in this section. Anyone, whether native born or foreigner, who eats anything found dead or torn by wild animals must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be ceremonially unclean till evening. Then they will be clean. But if they do not wash their clothes and bathe themselves, they will be held responsible. It's the end of verse 16. And in a series of like a lot of specificity to end that particular segment with "they will be held responsible" just sounded to me like something I pull with my kids when I'm trying to like I'm trying to be serious, but I also don't have it on the top of my head. So I'm like, if you don't stop hitting your brother, you are not gonna be happy.
Get it
about some things that you aforementioned would have probably been happy about.
And you're not going to be happy about it, mister.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell your mother.
I haven't quite worked it all out.
Something bad's going to happen.
Something not pleasant. If I remember that you did this wrong thing, will happen to you. But I probably won't remember you did something wrong and nothing bad's going to happen.
And it's going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me.
That's all I had from 17.
Speaking of, Leviticus 18. Sex. It's the title of the chapter. I just read it. I just read what's on the prompter.
It's time.
We got bodily emissions and we got sex.
Yeah.
May or may not coincide, but here we go.
Sometimes they don't. According to the previous chapter.
Leviticus 18. Yeah. God spoke to Moses, speak to the people of Israel. I love every chapter. It's like, you know what? God said. God was just having a chat with Moses.
Yeah.
And by the way, speak to the people of Israel. Tell them, I am your God, your God. I am God, your God. Right. Don't live like the people of Egypt, where you used to live. Yeah. And don't live like the people of Canaan, where I'm bringing you.
Right.
Okay. Don't do what they do. Okay. Obey my laws and live by my decrees. I am your God. I already said that. Got it. Keep my decrees and laws. Okay, yeah. The person who obeys them lives by them. I am God. Got it. Okay, buddy. What you got? Verse 6.
This is how, by the way, this is how a lot of like, I think, sex talks for us happened. Like, we're talking about sex. So, the trees and everything.
Yeah, Dad.
And so what happens is love fills the air.
Uh-huh.
And we have feelings. We have feelings. And we haven't talked about sex. It's been 45 minutes. And this was our sex talk. Anyway, go on.
Person who obeys them lives by them. I am God. Verse 6. No one is to approach any close relative to have sexual relations.
That seems like enough. Like, that seems like maybe we just leave it there.
Okay. All right, cool. We can move on to the rest. No. Didn't get the point with that first statement. Let's get into some specifics, shall we? Don't violate your father by having sex with your mother. She is your mother. Don't have sex with her. Don't have sex with your father's wife. That violates your father. Just in case your father's wife is not your mother. Don't have sex with your sister, whether she's your father's daughter or your mother's. I hate that I have to be that specific.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Whether she was born in the same house or elsewhere. Location doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stop having sex with your sisters,
don't
guys.
Do it.
Don't have sex with your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. That would violate your own body. Among other things. Don't have sex with the daughter of your father's wife born to your father. She is your sister. Don't have sex with your father's sister. She is your aunt. Thank you for the clarification. Closely related to your father. Don't have sex with your mother's sister. She is your aunt. It's okay. You don't have sex with your brother's wife. That would violate your brother. Don't have sex with both a woman and her daughter, and don't have sex with her granddaughters either. They are her close relatives. That is wicked. Don't marry your wife's sister as a rival wife and have sex with her while your wife is living. Wait until she's dead, I guess. How many times do I have to tell you? Just wait.
It's rude.
Just give it time. She's gonna go.
Oh, she's alive. It's rude.
Then pounce. Don't have sex with a woman during the time of the menstrual period when she's unclean. Don't have sex with your neighbor's wife and violate yourself by her. Do not give any of your children to be sacrificed by Molech, for you must not profane the name of God. I am the Lord. Mm-hmm.
Good note.
Yeah. A lot of details. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here.
A lot of specificity.
Yeah. So much in here. Mm-hmm.
You need to be clear. Verse 6 kind of gave you the heading and then they went into all the details and the potential like areas of confusion. That's not my sister because we don't have the same mom. Like, oh no, in fact, still not a good idea. Yeah, so you're getting in there. Obviously, not. Do not take your wife's sister as a rival wife and have sexual relations with her while your wife is living. It's certainly inconsiderate while she's living. I also feel like, obviously this is a patriarchal society and women are not having a whole lot of fun in a lot of ways. But I almost wonder if there's a little bit of like the guys like thinking about the sex part of this. But then there's also like, honestly, they're probably going to like team up and you're going to be not even allowed to live in your own house. If your wife and her sister are like, they're going to take over everything, man. You're going to be the one that is not needed around here very soon. Just another maybe additional thought to that. But yeah, there's just a lot of good advice.
On the topic of sex, when you're talking with your kids after the podcast, make sure you refer back to Leviticus 18. Start with that. That's our tip. We're gonna to you. If you want to just skip to that part of the podcast and then say, hey, my friends Tim and Anthony have something to say to you guys about the birds and the bees.
Right.
Safety first.
I do think, okay, and I have a couple thoughts here. It says you left the Egyptians. You're going to the land of the Canaanites. And that's not mentioned with some of the other stuff. Like, it's not like, hey, don't be eating blood because you're gonna get to Canaan and they're into the blood eating. I just want to let you know it's not a great thing. But this one, it's pretty specific. They're like, hey, we're gonna call two groups out. I'm not gonna tell you what they're doing, but I'm gonna tell you what you shouldn't do. And that's what I leave the reader here going like.
Do you think God was like whispering in Moses' ear, like, hey, by the way, this is what they're into? And Moses like, what? What in the what? They're doing what? Or do you think there was like a spy that they set out and then the spy came back and was like, oh, geez. Oh, I got to tell my boss what they're up to. I'd rather hear it from God, I think. I try not to giggle than be the spy. And
I think, and maybe, some of it is helpful contextually because they're going into this area. Now, of course, they're conquering a lot of it and running a lot of the people out. But if they happen to be at a dinner and they're like, oh, you and the missus, how did you guys meet? Good to know. Like, don't bring that up.
In the womb. It's my twin sister.
Not the same dad. It's fine. No.
Not the same dad.
Yeah.
All right. Leviticus 19. If I can skip along. I mean, there's more stuff in there. Go in and read all the things that you shouldn't have sex with. Leviticus 19.
Don't have sex with close relatives. Don't give your kids to Molech.
Or animals or give them to Molech.
Yeah. Been in there.
And that's all animals, by the way.
Which again,
in case
it did bring up some follow-up questions. I don't want to get into it. I'm
now's the time
talking about it already.
Well, don't worry, we're not done.
Okay, what do we got?
Leviticus 19 has more.
Right.
That's right. Leviticus 19 chapter title says, "I am God, your God." When you harvest your land, don't harvest. These are also very, I think, social tips, etc. Oh, yeah. Don't harvest right up to the edges of your field or gather gleanings from the harvest. Don't strip your vineyard bare or go back and pick up the fallen grapes. Leave them for the poor and for the foreigner. I am God, your God. Don't steal. Don't lie. Don't deceive anyone. Don't swear falsely using my name, violating the name of God. I am God. Don't exploit your friend or rob him. Don't hold back the wages of a hired hand overnight. Don't curse the deaf. Don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind. Fear your God. I am God.
Yeah.
Don't spread gossip and rumors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't just stand by. This one's fun.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So far,
This one's fun. Don't just stand by when your neighbor's life is in danger. I am God. Like these are the rules. These are Levitical laws here too,
right,
y'all. So I'm gonna go on like a little funny rant here, but it's funny to me that some people will be like real clear. They think it's real clear Levitical law. Like well, Levitical law says this. So that is now, that means for now. And they oftentimes are going to go back and say like let's see, Leviticus 18:22 says, don't have sex with a man as one does with a woman. It's abhorrent. No one should do that. See? And then like just a few verses later, the same God whose same law says, don't deceive anyone, don't be cruel to the disabled. And all of a sudden, those folks who are so adamant about the other Levitical law that they now base their policies on and their whole life on is like, well, but like deceit is subjective. It's sometimes that is like, well, I mean, it's not a lie. It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah.
It's a loophole. That's different. Yeah. Verse 16 says, don't spread gossip and rumors. And I feel like perhaps the evangelical churches that we grew up in were sort of founded on gossip and rumors. That's how my youth group was, at least, and kind of how the rest of the church was, as I figured out growing up.
Right.
So but it's funny that we stick to one. We want to pick and choose. Some people go, well, you can't pick and choose. Everything's in the Bible is real. It's meant for now. Jesus has the answers for all the stuff we live in now. Right. But then you don't want to follow some of the, I think, easier ones. Some are easier to see and some aren't. And then,
well, and I think it's about like how the concept of deceit. I think about this a lot of times too, because I think like about, hey, do you feel like hyper convicted on your taxes? Is this like a place of honesty for you?
Right.
Is this where you're like, I want to be just the most, this is where deceit is tempting. Or do you feel like, it's a great? So it's just about...
I use the internet at my home for my office and my work. It's not 90% for my work, so just write it off.
You just are like, if you're gonna wield them as a sword, then just make sure that
you wield them all, man.
Saddle is correctly tended.
Clean it off when you're done.
It's a whole group in here. It's a whole lifestyle that's proposed.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you can't be like, I'm into some of it, I'm not into any of it. Yeah. Or you can kind of contextualize, which I think a lot of people do, just kind of contextualize all of it. Say like, it's all kind of like, it was very specific
for them
for the
at
very
that time.
Specific time.
Yeah.
That's an okay way to kind of receive all of it. But if you're going to do any other one, just make sure it kind of checks out in totality.
I say, do them all.
Do my recommendation.
I mean, anyway, I'm not going to preach on this, but don't just stand by when your neighbor's life is in danger.
You should do that one.
It's happening now. Get in the way. Stop someone from dying.
What
please.
Kind of prankster is responsible for verse 14 is my question, because these are both, like, honestly, kind of, I don't want to say genius. That feels like like too big of a term, but like, cursing a deaf person.
Don't curse the deaf.
Can't hear you.
Don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind. They wouldn't know you did it. That's the genius of it.
It feels like that could cause harm. I'm certainly not here for that. I don't want you to...
Well, if you're cursing the deaf, they can't curse you back. They didn't know that they were cursed, and all of a sudden the plagues are happening on them, and they can't hit you with your own.
Like a witchcraft
they didn't know where it came from.
It's like Harry Potter a little bit.
Yeah, you like came up behind him. You're like, I cursed you.
Yeah.
To locusts on your ears. And they didn't hear it.
And then
they can't get you back. They can't say, and you say no tag backs, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block in front of the blind. Mm-hmm. That does seem like, and again, the thing that just strikes me there is somebody was cursing the deaf. Mm-hmm. And that was not nice that we had to go out of the way and mention it because you weren't being nice.
Yeah. Verse 19 says, keep my decrees. Don't mate two different kinds of animals. Okay, but what about the liger? I'm just saying. Don't plant your fields with two different kinds of seed. Okay, but what about those little, like, tangelos? It's like a tangerine and a grapefruit.
The seedless watermelon, yeah.
And the seedless watermelon had to come from somewhere.
Those kind of check out to me a little because from my very, middle school understanding of science, biology, and whatnot. But the animal one, I'm like, how long are you putting two animals in a pen? From what I understand of
a horse and a donkey, you put them in the same pen, sparks fly.
Right.
That's why you got to clean off the leather, off the saddle.
Right. And I guess that's part of my thought was like maybe some that are kind of close. But like I don't think they were doing ligers. Like I don't think they were.
How are you going to stop?
Could you possibly?
But how would you stop a lion and a tiger from getting on?
Well,
what are you going to do to intervene?
I mean, you're
in the wild and there's a tiger and a lion and they meet up and he says, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Well, I'm doing okay, but my boyfriend just left." And then now there's an emotional connection.
Idiot, baby. He was crazy for losing you.
And now you got your little baby ligers.
When I read that, I thought that was interesting. I was very curious what that looked like. To me, that's a very like modern day psychopath behavior. That's what we're always up to. Because it's like freaking tigers in India, lions are in Africa. They don't meet each other unless they're like knocked unconscious and a human puts them in a big cage and puts a lion in the big cage and is like, watch what I'm gonna do. That feels like that's a very modern experience. I'm thinking in like the time of like a wooden pen. You're like, what are you doing to these? Like, you're not. We're using syringes for a lot of this. You guys didn't have syringes. No, I don't know.
They're counting on a love connection, and I think that's okay. Love is love.
They're trying to parent trap all these animals.
Right?
And I was like, guys.
But just let them have fun.
Wouldn't it be cute, though?
What if that lion is all by himself?
It's so sweet when the big, bull and the little dog are friends, but what if they're more than friends?
And it's a consensual relationship. Let them have their fun.
You're just like, Moses is going to be like, Alzaleel, stop it. Stop. You're trying to manufacture stuff. It's not working. You think that dog's in love with the bull, and I'm telling you, you've tied it to this thing, and it can't get out, and it wants to go home, Azaleel.
The gerbil and the squirrel are two different species.
Now, they might find each other.
We'll make a little squirble.
Oh, you almost said a Pokemon.
I figured I did.
Not do that on purpose.
Leviticus 20. We have to move on. We have to get to the end.
Yeah,
of
we
this.
do. We got a little bit more ground to cover.
God spoke to Moses, tell the Israelites, each and every Israelite and foreigner in Israel who gives his child to the god Molech must be put to death. The community must kill him by stoning. I will resolutely reject that man and cut him off from his people. By giving his child to the god Molech, he has polluted my sanctuary and desecrated my holy name. If the people of the land look the other way as if nothing happened when that man gives his child to the god Molech and failed to kill him, I will resolutely reject that man and his family and him and all who join him in prostituting themselves in the rituals of the god Molech. I will cut off from their people. And I'm like, dang, God, what did Molech ever do to you? You're real mad at him.
Yeah.
I don't know what the beef is.
What did you find?
I got nothing for that. Okay. Oh, but it does say Moloch. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Moloch refers to the Canaanite/Phoenician deity associated with child sacrifice in the Hebrew Bible, symbolizing a horrific, blood-demanding entity often depicted as a demon or monstrous king. So I guess there's that.
Yeah.
Later on in the chapter, it says, verse 21 says, we're into some other laws and stuff, or back into some of the laws that we talked about earlier. If a man marries his brother's wife, it's a defilement. He has shamed his brother. They will be childless. And then my immediate thought was, what the heck? Like back in Genesis, if you remember the story of Onan didn't sleep with Tamar, his brother's wife, and he spilled his seed on the ground, so to speak, and God killed him. This is getting very confusing.
Well, I think in 21 it's saying he shamed his brother.
If a man marries his brother's wife, it's a defilement. He has shamed his brother. But it didn't say if his brother's dead or alive. That's still your brother's wife.
Right.
All I'm saying is I'm confused. I need some more clarity.
I hear what you're saying. I wonder if because you'd have to be alive to feel shame, I would think, which is an interesting conversation for another time. Can you shame people? And do they feel it a little bit afterwards? But yeah, I tracked with what you're saying there. I was just the nature of the way this read. It almost feels like we told you not to be trying to put the moves on your close relatives in 18, and then it's like 2 chapters later. It was like so I came up here and I told you guys, and then I turned my back and I turned around and everybody was hitting on their aunt. So I'm going to cover that section one more time, just because I feel like you maybe missed it. Maybe it didn't sink in the first time.
Mm-hmm. Leviticus 21. Holy priests. There's a lot here. There's a lot of like not exciting stuff here in this one. But he says, God spoke to Moses, speak to the priests, sons of Aaron, tell them a priest must not ritually contaminate himself by touching the dead, except for close relatives, mother, father, son, and daughter, brother, or an unmarried sister who is dependent on him since she has no husband. Like, what? These are dead people. For these he may make himself ritually unclean, but he must not contaminate himself with the dead who are only related to him by marriage and thus profane himself. I mean, obviously, touch whatever dead relatives you want if you want to be a priest. It's fine.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm getting out of this. Touch.
Except for your in-laws.
Right.
That felt like a note to like maybe, that felt like maybe a little wink from God to Aaron about an upcoming situation. I'm going to get you out of the in-law stuff because you don't want...
Yeah.
I just know... Hey, just take my word on this one. You don't want to do in-law stuff.
You can touch your son's corpses that have been burnt to a crisp that I remember I torched them. You can touch those. It's later on, priests must not shave their heads or trim their beards or gash their bodies. They must be holy to God.
Yeah.
If a priest's daughter defiles herself in prostitution, she disgraces her father. She must be burned at the stake.
Yeah.
And if you're stuck in Old Testament reading here, and you're really concerned with Levitical law, let's just jump to 1 John 4:8. God is love. Let's skip there. Let's refer back to that a couple of times before acting upon your stance on Levitical law.
I did, to your earlier point, Leviticus 21 presented me with one because it says here, a priest must not make himself, in verse 1, ceremonially unclean for any of his people who die except for a close relative, such as his mother or father. But then in 11, it says, priest, must not enter a place where there is a dead body. He must not make himself unclean, even for his mother or father. So, probably gonna be the first question I asked Moses when I get that. So I noticed what appears to be a discrepancy in Leviticus 21. Yeah. I'm curious about just the execution of said uncleanness. But yeah, there we go.
22.
21. And here's where we're gonna land.
Leviticus 22.
Yep.
Each and every one of Aaron's descendants who has an infectious skin disease or a discharge may not... You thought we were done.
Yeah, I thought we were clear.
Gotcha. May not eat in any of the holy offerings until he's clean. Makes sense. Yep. Also, if he touches anything defiled by a corpse or has an emission of semen, whether intentional or accidental, I guess, or is contaminated by touching a crawling creature or touches a person who is contaminated for whatever reason, a person who touches any such thing will be ritually unclean until evening and may not eat any of the holy offerings until he is washed well with water. Oh. So we have touches anything defiled by a corpse, emission of semen, touches a person who is contaminated for those reasons, a person who touches any such thing. Oh, also, if they touch a crawling creature. And those don't all seem like they weigh the same on the scale of ritually unclean. Yeah. You could have your hands like elbows deep in a corpse.
That's what I'm saying.
Just as dirty as you touched a snake.
Yeah, centipede.
Same.
Shake it off.
No, they're not.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not.
I hope that there was maybe I'm unclean level orange. Just so everybody's on the same page.
Right.
This is very I accidentally reached, there's a worm. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
I need a subtitle.
We're all going
to
be
unclean because I touched a snake.
Yeah, just... Right. Yeah. This is my thing from Leviticus 22 that really needs to be discussed. Verse 12. If a priest's daughter marries anyone other than a priest, she may not eat any of the sacred contributions. And that just was a perfect scene to me, right? You have the father and his daughter. It's no, you can't. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm a priest. You marry a priest.
We are a family of priests. You'll never be able to eat the sacred thighs. And she's like, but Daddy, I love him. I don't want your thighs. She slaps him off of the altar. No.
And then Taylor Swift plays in the background.
He's a fisherman in the side. So we get married, or is this... I mean, I'll eat the thigh if no one else is going to eat it.
It's like I can get ordained online if you want.
I mean, do the blood in the ears and the toes, right? Yeah. From what I remember.
That's what we do.
Also, verse 14, anyone who eats a sacred offering by mistake must make restitution to the priest for the offering and add 1/5 of the value to it. There's the idea of eating a sacred offering by mistake as if it were left in a shared company fridge,
right.
like unmarked.
Right.
You know,
you eat my lunch. Now you owe me lunch and a snack. Okay? Deal?
No, you put an unmarked styrofoam seasoned dish.
That was a lunch
in the fridge.
Add 1/5 of the value to it. That's lunch and a snack, bro.
Just how you're accidentally eating that stuff. Verse 28. Do not. This is another one of those just notes for living.
Mm-hmm.
Do not slaughter a cow or a sheep and its young on the same day. I think that's good because you want them to be able to grieve a loss. You know,
Which
you want them to be able to be sad about it.
Which seems a little bit more cruel. If I'm a sheep and you kill my mom, don't give me the day to think about. Just kill me now. Go ahead and do it. I don't want to think about this
sheep,
more.
We killed your mom. You'd be so mad at you. I'd be so mad at you.
It's good. I saw what you did.
See that? Mm-hmm. Wordplay.
We did it. We got through Leviticus 22.
15 to 22.
I think we should re-air this episode probably a couple times.
I think
I'd like to revisit it some more.
I think there should be two sort of as kids are coming into their adulthood. I think it should be like preparing for adolescence.
Poor choice of words there.
This podcast.
Yeah.
Those should be the two required media consumptions. And then you'll be like, all right, you're ready for the world out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of good stuff learned. I hope my challenge for everybody is to just everything we mentioned today. I want you to put it into practice this week. Every single thing. I want you to come back batting 1,000 on everything we talked about. Mm-hmm. And tell us how you feel. Mm-hmm. Tell us how much weight you've lost, how much clearer your thinking is,
and how clean your leather couch is.
So gross.
Not my words. It's Bible. I didn't write them. I just read them.
If you're still
cheat day Devos
watching and listening,
you're welcome.
You're the best. I don't know how you made it all the way to the end. I was really having to lock into this chair.
I do. I know how they made it because some of these sickos are like me.
We are committed to going through every chapter of the Bible, and we covered quite a bit today.
This is my reward for having to do these crappy Christian movies.
I believe, I don't want to say this off the cuff, I think next week is our last week in Leviticus, which followers of the pod will know. It typically takes us
a long time.
A human
and you're right.
gestation period to finish a book of the Bible.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. We got one more week in Leviticus after this. So if you loved this one, you're going to want to be here next week. Oh, brutal. Tim, great job today.
Thanks. You too.
You, great job for sticking around. Most people have quit reading the Bible before this. You're sticking with it. I love that about you. Mm-hmm. You can reach us at The Bible is Funny on Instagram and TikTok and let us know what you think. Maybe you got some good insights. Maybe you teach us some stuff that we're very confused about. I welcome it all. Send it to us at The Bible is Funny. And yeah, we love you so much. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back here with another episode real soon.
Mm-hmm. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
The Bible